Hi guys and welcome to this video. This is the second program in my three program special on dive watches. And in the first special release a couple of weeks ago, I focused on my own dive watch collection. So you can find a link down in the description for this video if you want to see that video if you haven't seen it yet. Um, this video, the second program in the free program special, is much more focused on three legendary dive watches. I get a little into the history of these three iconic dive watches, but most important for this video, I get into a lot of alternatives for these iconic dive watches. Both very affordable alternatives, a little more expensive mid-tier dive watches, and also homage dive watches connected to these three iconic divers. So just a quick wristwatch check. As you can see, I'm doing the rather, for me, quite obnoxious Schwarzkopf thing, wearing a watch on both wrists. But this is just to actually just because it's the dive watch special, I wanted to wear both watches, and of course the Omega Seamaster 300 Professional, that as you may have seen in some of the James Bond movies, and the Tag Heuer Aqua Racer, which is much more of a desk diver, and with me I also have the Seiko SKX 009. This is modified. It's usually with a rubber strap or with a Jubilee bracelet, and of course with a Pepsi bezel insert, but I modified it. So this is how my SKX 009 looks, and this is featured in the video. These two are also featured, and of course another Japanese dive watch. This is the Citizen Pro Master, which is a very nice and affordable dive watch. So we should just run the intro, and then we're ready to look at some iconic dive watches and the affordable and a little more expensive alternatives if you're interested in having a nice collection of dive watches. So just before we run the intro, remember to subscribe, please comment, and please like my videos. It's a big help to get a lot of subscribers. And a lot of people have subscribed to my channel the last couple of weeks, so thank you very much to you guys, and please tell your friends to also subscribe for the channel. So let's roll the intro and get into the world of dive into the world of dive watches. Thank you. The Rolex Submariner. The probably most iconic luxury dive watch is the Rolex Submariner, introduced by the Swiss watchmaker in 1953. It is even the inspiration to its own spin-off by Rolex, the Sea Dweller, with a water resistance of up to 1200 meters. The Submariner is water resistant to 300 meters, and earlier models were only water resistant to 200 meters. And the watch is probably one of the only high-end dive watches which is respected equally by professional divers, watch lovers, and desk divers with a handful luxury watches. Famous wearers of the Submariner, or simply the Sub, are James Bond by Sean Connery, Nicolas Cage, Steve McQueen, Robert Redford, Fidel Castro, Sylvester Stallone, and the list goes on. With its very classic design and famous oyster bracelet, the Submariner is worn both in the ocean, at the beach, in the cafes, and in the offices. It is even famous for its conservative evolution. with probably the green Hulk as the most noticeable different design than the classic black dial and black bezel version. The prices pre-owned is often from $5,000 and up, and brand new the prices are often $6,000 to $8,000. Blancpain 50 Fathoms, maybe a dive watch only known by a few professional divers and watch aficionados. The Blancpain 50 Fathoms is probably the most legendary dive watch when it comes to innovation. The watch was introduced in 1953, just like the Submariner, and was first issued to the French Navy. 50 Fathoms was the first dive watch to introduce the unidirectional bezel as we know it today. This is sometimes argued, but for many dive watch historians, this is the grandfather of many of the functions of dive watches we see today. The unidirectional bezel was made to make the divers able to calculate their oxygen levels. Today, the watch is far from as popular as the Submariner, but it is more a connoisseur watch going at 5-digit figures. Famous people who wore the 50 Fathoms include Jacques Cousteau and the actor Lloyd Bridges. And the third of the three famous dive watches is the Omega Seamaster. The Omega Seamaster is probably most famous as a watch worn by James Bond in all the movies since 1995's GoldenEye, where Pierce Brosnan wears the Omega Seamaster 300 professional quartz version. In later James Bond movies, the watch has gone from the quartz to the automatic version. In the next three movies, Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough, and Die Another Day, the famous reference number 2531.80 is the preferred choice. In later movies, we see the Seamaster spin-offs Planet Ocean and Seamaster Spectre. But the Seamaster is not only famous for its sponsorship of 007. The watch is iconic for its beautiful and amazing design with the dial, the bezel, and the very comfortable bracelets and straps. Even the NATO strap was made even more demanded and famous with the grey and black version worn by Daniel Craig. The Seamaster is also one of the most affordable watches of the famous luxury dive watches. A pre-owned 300 professional can be obtained for around $2,000. The version is discontinued. With newer models, you must cover up with around $4,000 to $6,000.